Hey guys, what is going on? This is Exterminator, and in this video I'm going to be talking about something a little different. It is not about the gameplay, but just something quick about the gameplay here. It's 3 different games I played. I think pretty good scores and stuff, and the last game, I want to apologize, it cuts off like right before my team wins and right after I get my Harrier, and why that is because it actually lagged out and I got kicked, so I just cut that part out because, I mean, who wants to see that? So, yeah. In this video, I want to talk about doing what you love and following your passion. I actually saw a video a day or two ago. This guy on YouTube made. His YouTube channel is XilentFlex. I will put a link in the description. It was a great video about getting out of your comfort zone and just like how it helped him and how it can help you. And you know, it kind of gave me inspiration because I myself actually have a very hard time getting out of my comfort zone in most things. I just with basically all new things, you know, unless they're like teeny tiny, I have a really hard time getting out of my comfort zone to do them, you know. If not so much now, but you know, even a year ago or so, if one of my friends or a group of my friends asked me to go hang out with them and do something new, I mean, not something bad, you know, not like go get drunk, but you know, something new, even if there was no harm in it, you know, I would probably pass it up because it was new and unexpected, and the unexpected can be scary sometimes. So you know, I just had a really hard time getting out of my comfort zone, and yeah, I can just really relate to that, and you know, it got me thinking about, you know, doing what you actually love in life and following your passion. And this is really important. I mean, so many people don't do what they really want to do and don't actually follow their passion, whether they don't know what it actually is, or they're too oblivious to everything to do that, or they just can't because, you know, they have to have this job to keep their family going and stuff. And I mean, that's understandable. You have to do what you have to do, but I feel like anybody can follow their passion and do what they love in life. I mean, if you set your mind to anything, you can do it. If you set your mind to something, you can do anything. And you know, I mean, some people are probably going to take this to the extreme and, you know, be like, well, if you set your mind to it, can you fly? Well, you know, I don't know, but I mean, for something that is feasible, even if it seems almost impossible, you can still do it. And I kind of want to tell a little story about myself where I did that, and you know, just to kind of show that it works if you are really passionate about something. So I am 18 now, and when I was about, what would that have been, about 14 or 15, maybe even 13, you know, I started kind of getting interested in cars. You know, most guys at least have some interest in cars, I would think, to some degree. And you know, I kind of had an interest in cars, and one day, you know, I think we were driving, or I was looking on the internet, and I saw a picture of a Mustang, a Ford Mustang, not the horse, the car. And yeah, and I looked at it, I was like, wow, that is an amazing car, I want one of those, you know. And it wasn't just like, yeah, you know, I want that, that looks really cool. It was like, it just clicked in my mind, and I was like, alright, I have to have this car when I'm older. This is my dream car. I really want this car. You know, and I actually printed out a picture of it, of a really nice red Mustang GT, and I put it up on this poster board that's in my room where I have other pictures. And you know, every time I would look at it, it would just click in my mind, and I would think, wow, you know, I have to get that car. Well, not that exact car, but you know, it that's just an amazing car, and I would love so much to have one of those. And you know, everyone has experienced something like that. Obviously, maybe not with cars, but with something where you're just like, I want that so much. It would be so amazing to get that. But, you know, I just set my mind to it, and when I turned 15 and a half or 16, yeah, well, whenever I took the driving test and stuff to get my permit, that's when it really opened up for me, the ability to do that. But I mean, keep in mind, I'm 16, and I'm like, oh yeah, I really want a Mustang. I'm gonna get a Mustang. And everybody, even my parents, I mean, my parents were a little more supportive, but for the most part, they were like, well, Chris, you're 16, you're not gonna get a Mustang. And all my friends at school, every single one of them, they were like, are you crazy? There's no way in hell you're getting a Mustang. And you know, sometimes it got me down, sometimes I got upset and was just like, God, you know, this is impossible, because I mean, Mustangs, they're not the cheapest cars, and my price limit was pretty low. What actually happened, I'm kind of going back a little here, is, you know, my parents knew I wanted a Mustang, and even before I could drive, and they said, all right, Chris, if you graduate high school with all A's and B's, like throughout all 4 years, we will buy you a Mustang. And this was, they told me this at the beginning of high school, and then sophomore year is when I could get my permit. I was like, damn, you know, I really don't want to wait this long. So I sat down with them, and I made them a deal. I said, if I pay for half of this car, if we split the cost 50-50, can I get one now? Or, I mean, or well, sometime before I graduate. And they said, all right, if you pay for half of it and you still keep your good grades, you can get one if you can find one. And I only had about, I had like $4,000 saved up, and people are going to maybe be like, well, you're 16, how is that possible? Well, because every summer for like the last 4 or 5 years, I did, you know, mowing lawns, taking care of pets and stuff, and saved money, and I never really bought anything, so it just stacked up. And I also had a go-kart, and I sold that for, I think, $450, so, you know, that added up. But still, I mean, Mustangs aren't cheap cars, and I wanted a newer one. You know, I didn't want like a 98. I wanted, the body style I wanted was a 2005 or newer. So those were running about $10,000 to $12,000, and I had to find one that was definitely under 10. And, you know, and even my parents, they were like, Chris, you know, you're probably not going to find one. You're probably going to have to wait. And I was like, no, I want one now. I am doing this. So every day, every single day, I would look on Craigslist, and all of them, they were all $12,000 and up. And, you know, and I was getting discouraged. And one night, it was funny. It's like, this has probably happened to everyone at some point. It just like, something just, you know, kind of like hit you in the head, and it was like inside your head, and it's like, you know, you should check this out. Because I couldn't find one. I was getting really discouraged, and I was looking in my area, Denver, and something in my head just said, you know, why don't you look in Fort Collins? It's an hour-and-a-half drive, but if you find it, you know, I'm willing to drive an hour and a half. So I looked there, and this guy had posted this that day. He lived in Greeley, and he had a 2006 Mustang for $8,900. Low mileage, that is incredibly low price, and he had to get rid of it. I'm not going to go into why, but yeah, so the next night we went up and got it, and I got it. At the age of 16, I had a Mustang and still have it, but I mean, that's just what I'm saying. If you set your mind to something, you can do anything. And that brings me to my next point of just following your passion and doing what you love. Since probably about 12 is when I started playing video games. You know, I really love them. They were, for a while, they were a hobby, you know, just kind of on the side. And then when I turned, like, well, basically when I started high school, because I went into high school not knowing anybody, so freshman year I was pretty alone and stuff, and you know, every day I would just come home and play my games, and you know, I really started loving them. But I didn't start YouTube until, what would that have been, until about 3 or 4 months ago, actually. And I was like, well, you know, I've been watching people, Woody's Gamertag, T Martin, Onslaught, C Nanners, all those people, and I really loved what they were doing, and I saw they were successful, and I thought to myself, wow, you know, I would really like to do this. So I started posting up some videos, and I just wanted to share my passion of gaming with other people, and you know, hope that they enjoyed it and maybe be successful in that too. And you know, it doesn't have to do with gaming for everyone. It can be anything, you know, painting, you know, working on cars, riding, whatever it is. If you really love it, you can do it. And even if it's something obscure, people may say, or you may say to yourself, oh, well, there's no careers out there for me. You know, I haven't seen anybody else doing that. I can't be successful. That is wrong. There is a career out there, or a place out there for you to do that. And if there's not, make one. I mean, seriously, there are so many people that, you know, I can't name one off the top of my head, but there are people who have started things or made a product or had an idea that didn't exist before, and themselves or other people thought it was crazy, and they are now incredibly successful. And even if it is something mainstream, you know, like riding or whatever, you can make it successful, and you can just follow your dream. And that is the most important thing. I mean, doing what you love in life is so important, and if you can do that and, you know, be successful off of it, that is just awesome. And you know, that kind of brings me to my next point of actually being successful. You know, and a lot of people, well, probably the majority of people in this world, again, not everybody, but the majority, think being successful is how much money you make. If you have a nice car, how big of a house you have, you know, maybe even how many TVs you have, you know, whatever. I don't think that's true. I mean, yeah, granted, okay, maybe you make $200,000 a year, you have a huge house, you have a Corvette, whatever. That's nice. But how many of those people, and some definitely do, but how many of those people that make that amount of money really love what they're doing? Not very many. My uncle, for example, he makes at least $150,000 a year by he draws maps for what is it? I think Jeppesen, or one of the like airline map companies that draws maps for airplanes. He makes a ton of money, but he hates going to work every day. He has to get up early. He hates it so much. And a lot of people are like that. So, you know, my thought on success, what I think it is, if you're being successful, or, well, what you have to do to be successful is do what you love. I would consider you incredibly successful if you have a job that you really like doing, it's what you love doing, even if you only make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. If you love it, does it matter? I mean, if you can support your family, and I know you might not be able to get all this great stuff, but if you can support yourself and your family, and you just wake up in the morning and you're like, man, I cannot wait to go to work and do this. Or, you know, you get home and you do extra stuff because you really love it. I mean, wouldn't you rather that than doing something you hate? And I mean, some people aren't going to get it because, you know, they're just going to say, well, you know, I wouldn't, because I would love to have $200,000. I wouldn't care. But I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion. So, really, to just sum this up, I just kind of want to, you know, hopefully this inspires people and can help people. And this is helping me just talking about it, that, you know, whatever it is, video games, you know, riding, cars, drawing, publishing books, something on the internet, I don't, you know, whatever it is, whatever you really love doing, follow that. And oh yeah, the other thing with success is so many people, the general thought of people, almost everybody, is you have to go to college to be successful. And you know, you have to graduate high school, you have to get all A's and B's, you have to do this, you have to do that. That's not true. Now, I repeat, I am not encouraging people to drop out or to not go to college. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is, don't let other people control your life by saying that, you know? If there's something you really want to do and you don't have to go to college for it, and you know in your heart, or you can set your mind to it and be successful, don't let everybody else say, well, you can't do that because you didn't go to college, you know? I mean, you don't have to do that. I mean, a lot of people probably use this example, but look at Bill Gates. He didn't go to college, and he's one of the richest people in the world. And again, money might not matter, but again, you don't have to. And what other people think of you, you shouldn't let that bother you either. If people criticize what you want to do or whatever, when you think about it, does what other people think really affect you? Does it? If you don't let it go into your mind and stuff, what other people think and other people's judgments on you, does that really actually affect you? And it doesn't. And it shouldn't. So, yeah, I hope this I hope this helps people and inspires people, and I hope you enjoyed it. I know it helped me just talking about it, and thank you so much for watching it. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave them down in the comments or send me a PM. And yeah, if you liked it, please rate and comment. And I will see you guys in the next video. The gameplay is over here in about 30 seconds, so I will let you just think about that while it finishes out. Thank you so much. See you guys.